For years, in the quiet woods of Michigan, a man lived a rather ordinary life. A life filled with family, friends, work, the day-to-day things you and I both know so well. But there was something else. Something he couldn't quite forget. You see, this man had seen something. Not in a movie, not in a dream, but with his own eyes. Something tall. Something massive. Something covered in hair. Is something that, if he told most people, would earn him laughter instead of belief. So he kept it quiet. For a while. But that sighting, that sound, those moments when he knew he wasn't alone in the Michigan woods, they stayed with him. They nagged at him. Until one day he decided silence wasn't enough. Instead of hiding it away, he turned on a camera, he opened a microphone, and he began to talk. First a little, then a lot, about Bigfoot, about cryptids, about the paranormal, and about anyone else out there who had seen what the rest of the world said wasn't real. And do you know what happened? People listened. They listened because they too had stories. Stories of ghosts in their homes, lights in their skies, creatures in their backyards. People who were laughed at too, but with him, they weren't laughed at anymore. He became something else, a host, an interviewer, a storyteller. Now, he wasn't just a man who once saw a giant in the trees. 3 live shows a week. A podcast, Brunch with Bigfoot, and hundreds of videos, thousands of listeners. Thousands who no longer felt so alone. And when the lights go on in his Michigan studio, when the camera shines, another guest calls in from another corner of the world, he's no longer just a witness. He is the voice for all those who whisper, "I've seen it too." So today, when you hear a man from Michigan speaking boldly about Bigfoot, about UFOs, about ghosts, about mysteries the world isn't ready to explain, you remember that it all began not with fame, not with microphones, not with an audience, but with one man standing quietly in the woods, looking at something the world says doesn't exist. And now you know the beginning of the story. It belongs to a man known as Bigfoot Michigan Rob.
The airwaves ignite for the chosen few. He's got the voice, the spirit, and the fire. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, taking us higher. He built a palace of cryptids in this lonely space. True Cryptid Encounters, volumes 1 and 2. Coming from the darkness, tell your own tale. He's starting the job out past the setting sun. He's Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, until the work is done. It's a Bigfoot pirate rock and roll show. On the airwaves, watch the legend grow. Come join the beyond and hear the wild scream. Yeah! Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, time to open up your mind. Get ready to rock and roll. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. It's a brunch time with BMR and Monica. Always have a great show in store for you. You'll have to excuse me for that. Yeah, I got a little story for you guys before we start the show, along with Monica when she comes on up. Thanks to everybody for coming on in. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button if you're new here. Please subscribe to Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube. Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World on YouTube. The Blondes and the Booze on YouTube. I've been doing some collaborations with Coley over at SNX Radio. Go check her out. We had a great show Friday. I believe it's Paranormal Paul and Natalie join us, introducing her crowd to those two. So that will be fun. Go check her out. What else is on the agenda? Yeah, I've got some cool things to share with you guys today. Don't forget, everybody, the Super Cat is open. The Super Cat. Yes. You can become a pirate, a BMR pirate. Join the many, join the few, depending on your point of view. Thanks in advance for that. What else? Yeah, that's really about it. Super Cat, pirates. Yeah, I'm feeling a little woozy today. Yeah, I don't get into it. Hey, Paranormal Paul, hello to everybody for coming on in. With that being said, I'm going to bring up the lovely Monica. Hi
Good
there.
afternoon. Good afternoon, Robbie.
Good afternoon, Monica.
I can't wait to hear. You told me backstage. I can't wait for you to tell everybody. your
I
story.
know. Well, before I
And
get into
seriously, like if we need to.
yeah,
not
well,
go.
we will see. Yeah, if it is, everyone's sick. I'm not exactly sick. Before I get into that, you had a pretty busy day, hey? Running around, you were telling me. If it's all too personal, you don't have to get into it, but
No.
we're all busy, right, Monica?
We are all going. I know I am.
We just go, I go, and I don't go to. I had to go to the doctor this morning, everybody.
Mm.
So yesterday, we got pounded with snow. I went out to shovel the snow. Yeah. I got maybe half of the drive clear. Man, I slipped on a patch of ice. I fell back hard and landed hard on my hip. Hard on my hip. So I got up, no big deal, and I continued on and continued to shovel the snow. But an hour later, you guys, the pain started riveting in my hip. It was so painful, everybody, that I had to stand most of the day
Oof.
because I could not even sit down. In fact, I even grabbed pillows and everything else. And it hurt so bad. I'm not one of these guys who wants to go into the ER room, especially later at night when it was already getting dark when I started getting the pain. But I woke up this morning and I could barely walk. I had to like stretch out my leg. I said, I got to go see my regular doctor. So I got in, saw my doctor, sent me off to this other place, get x-rays. So good old BMR has I do. I've got a hairline fracture in my upper middle part of my hip. Yeah. Now surgery is not required.
That's good.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Thank God. Takes about 6 to 12 weeks to heal, but 3 to 6 months for it to, get 100% strength back.
Right.
So I told the doc, I said, hey, a lot of what I do requires sitting down. I just can't sit down. So he prescribed me some painkillers. Yeah, he did. But only
They're always
6.
fun.
Yeah, he gave me 6 of them. So I took one about half
Stingy.
hour.
6.
Well, this Norcos, I guess that's a narcotic.
I guess that they have a thing called a prescription. He could give you more
Yeah.
than that with the zero.
Well, he
refill.
gave me 6. So I
Mhm.
took one about a half hour ago. Finally, I can sit down because I guess it's starting to work. I can kind of tell a little bit. Yeah, I can kind of definitely tell it's kicking in. So yeah, that's my day. I'm just lucky it wasn't broken badly. I'm glad that I don't have to have surgery because I do not want to miss my entire spring and summer because of that. Because I know that's one hell of recovery. I was laid up for almost 3 months with simple knee surgery, but it wasn't simple because I tore my quad muscle that attaches to the patella.
Right.
Some time ago, and that took a long time.
Well, I'm glad you don't require surgery.
No, I'm glad I don't require surgery for sure. So
Yeah. Well, we'll have fun with the show today.
yeah, we will. In fact,
We'll move on. I'm sitting here eating my lemon.
Oh, very nice. Yeah,
I
we
peel
do.
and eat them like oranges.
Yeah, oranges. Oh, he likes
No,
oranges.
they're lemons. I peel them and eat them like an orange.
Oh, you do? I've never tried that. I've never eaten a whole lemon.
I love lemons.
Yeah, I do love lemons. I use them in
limes.
like lemons and limes. I will put in water.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what most people do. I can't do it all the time because obviously I don't want to erode my enamel. But
Oh, now the acidity will
yeah,
do that.
over time it will if you consume a lot of
them on a
acidic.
daily basis.
Yeah. And but yeah, I'll sit here and eat my lemon.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss your stories because
Yeah,
they sound pretty good today.
Well, today, no, well, what I do is this is not like bizarre news, but what I was doing, trying to come up with some other content, there's some things I came up. There's shorter 5 Bigfoot reports that I found interesting that I'll read those and we kind of spitball them like we do all the time with anything we talk about.
Sure.
But then lastly, what I'm going to get into was a very cool email about a person and the fae and the fairy folk that are on their property and they've been having problems with them. So I read this email the other day. I said, yeah, this is right up Monica's alley as well. Cause ever since I met you, that's become a great topic and I'm into that.
Awesome.
So, and thank you. Yeah. Thank you for this. $2 for the BMR butt pillow fund. Arr! And don't forget to subscribe to Bigfoot Fidesz. For those of you that don't know, she did the not the first part of the opening with that was Paul Harvey. If you guys are unfamiliar, then we rolled into the BMR rockin' song, the pirate song. So yes, thank you Fidesz for that. Appreciate you. Subscribe to Bigfoot awesome. Fidesz.
She's great.
She is. And I seen somebody was saying who is singing the song. I don't know.
AI?
I think that probably AI. It's probably an A up. It certainly wasn't me because my voice is not as good as that. No, it wasn't BMR. I was just behind the mic. That's all.
Come on, Robbie. I bet you could.
Oh, you heard me.
Get you up there in the karaoke.
You heard me sing in Missouri, or were you not?
We were drinking.
Attention?
Do you think I remember anybody?
No. Singing? Yeah. I busted out. We were singing some song I was unfamiliar with, and I turned it into a BMR tune. Yeah. Hey, yeah, we were drinking. That's for sure. It's on films. It's on video. So I'm sure people have it. I'm sure there's video. Somewhere. There's video on everything. Thank you, Paul. The super cat. Thanks for the super cat. Yeah, for the butt pillow. So yeah, so the butt pillow fund is rolling in. Paul, I don't know if you were here in the beginning. We're doing that collab with SNX. So we'll check that out Friday. I think it's 8 Central, I think, or 7 Central. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I got these reports. That I got a couple. These are Bigfoot ones, and I thought they were interesting. And why don't we start the show with that? Thanks to everybody. Hit the like button, please. And subscribe if you are new. This one here I found is called The Howls of Devil's Knob in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. And this report was filed 2012. I found most of these on a Bigfoot search engine. I think it was Bigfoot something, I forget. Doesn't matter. August 19th of 2012 is the report date. Location is the Devil's Knob Forest in the Appalachian Range, eastern Tennessee. It starts out here by saying that this was, thank you, Diane.
Oh.
Thanks. Additional funds for my butt pillow. Thank you.
People are very concerned about your rear end.
They certainly are. They certainly are. And if it wasn't, yeah. Anyways, moving on. It was a humid late summer night when hikers Alina Martinez and Josh Caldwell called 911 with a chilling report. And this was the audio, I guess, on this, but obviously I'm not playing that. Alina terrified. We heard growls, low, guttural, unlike any bear or mountain lion. Then there was this howl, deeply human, but I twisted. We both froze, and I swear something massive was watching us. So that's how that starts. Overview, excuse me, on this report. The Tennessee Wildlife Commission dispatched Ranger Brett Holloway after multiple calls from campers reporting deep human-like howls that shook their tents late at night. Ranger Holloway. At first, I assumed displaced wildlife or pranksters until I heard it myself. I've been in these woods 14 years and I've never heard anything like that. Ranger Holloway's recorder captured a series of deep vocalizations lasting nearly 3 minutes, later analyzed by independent cryptozoologists who said the pattern wasn't consistent with known mammals. Footprints were found the next morning, it says here, 22 inches long,
Wow.
5 toes in a deep midfoot arch.
Mid-tarsal break.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Local reactions to the incident was nearby residents reported their dogs going silent and refusing to go outside during the evening hours for weeks after. And again, these are short reports, so that's how that one ends. That's the first one I got. So, yeah, I don't find anything sus about that. That's kind of.
I mean, it sounds typical Bigfoot. Now, I don't know about the human sounding howls. What is a human sounding howl?
Yeah.
You know, that throws me off a little bit because I don't recall anybody ever saying that the Bigfoot vocalizations that they're hearing sounded human. You know, and in fact, if it sounds human, then I'm going to chalk it up to a hoax personally.
Yeah. Well, they said it sounded human. Again, typically, yeah, what we hear is the whoops and howls, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what a Bigfoot howl. I mean, I've heard howls.
Well, they're super loud in the duration because you consider the capacity for the human lungs, right?
Yes.
You can't have two. I mean, unless you're a free diver that can stay under for 10 minutes, your lung capacity isn't going to be huge, and that's holding your breath if you're a free diver. I mean, just taking an inhale and like creating a vocalization. Humans can't keep that up for the duration that's a lot of people, you know, the howls that you hear that people are associating with Bigfoot, those are super long.
Yeah.
You know, and their audio range, I want to say, doesn't match that of like human capacity. So duration, like pitch, I think a lot of the time kind of that points away from human in some cases.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. Yeah, no, I like that. No, I agree. I think you're spot on. I think that probably wasn't an encounter. I don't know if that's a hoax. People say human. And then again, if these people have no experience, I don't know what I would say either.
yeah. I mean, well,
Certainly
the
would
Ranger
have
heard it too. So
yeah. And
yeah.
also what else? Because definitely when I had my experience, that was not human at all. It was nothing I
Right.
never heard ever.
Right.
Ever. So
Yeah, and when I heard the vocalization when I was in my mid-teens in Oregon, that wasn't human. Because it was 1 in the morning and it was down at the corner of the creek where the properties meet next to the dairy farm. So it was coming from the creek on the border of our property and the dairy farm. Definitely not human.
No, I believe you on that one. Trust me. Dairy farm is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's interesting to me.
Well, I mean,
with the experience.
The cat. I mean, I remember finding dead cows down in the creek. Now I couldn't tell you what they died from. You know, being the suspicious monster hunter that I was when I was in my, youth.
Yes.
I was like, well, that's suspicious because there were dead cows down at the creek, and I'm like, well, why are they dead down here? What did they die from? Because there were no obvious signs of carnage. You know, it was a dead cow.
And if I know you, you're not going to chalk it up to aliens.
No, I wasn't chalking it up to aliens. I mean, I'm sure it crossed my mind at the time, but
way back in your youth.
I find a couple of dead cows one summer, and then the next summer I hear the vocalizations.
Yeah.
And I heard the vocalizations for 2 nights. One of them, it was way fainter than the first night, but it was the same vocalization. And it was right as the sun dipped behind the ridge. because where we were in a valley, and there's mountains, right? To the west, there's a huge mountain range. And so it's still technically daylight, but the sun had dipped on the other side of the mountain. So it's like twilight. It's like a long time of twilight. And right as it went in behind the mountain range is when I heard the vocalizations the second night, like farther down the creek.
Okay.
Which is creepy. Also not human.
No, neither. Somebody says you don't want dead livestock near water. Well, yeah.
No, you don't.
No, not at all.
But it wasn't our dairy farm. And, yeah. Don't drink out of the creek. We didn't.
I also had, no, God. I will tell
I mean,
you
it wasn't in the water. It was up on the bank. But it was close enough that.
Yeah. I will tell you this really quickly before I move on. Back again, when I was way younger, I did have a job working in a creamery, CF Burger Creamery.
Oh.
And they made milk, and they also supplied Dairy Queen with the Dairy Queen mix.
Oh, cool.
Well, that is cool, certainly. But I worked on the floor as a production guy. And my very first day of work, I was not exposed to the factory when I had my little interview. They said, yeah, you start whenever you start. And I have actually another interesting story. And this place was right in the middle of Detroit, in a bad neighborhood. And I worked midnights.
Isn't all of Detroit a bad neighborhood now?
Well, downtown is fine. It's,
Okay.
it's the inner city surrounding it. But yeah, it's like any other major city, the outskirts. So, but they told me one tale that I said, oh man, I don't even want to work here, because right before I signed the paperwork, they said, oh yeah, just to let you know, you are working in, as they put, the hood. And I suggest if you have a new car, don't drive it to work, because we have a lot of things that happen. I'm like, okay. So after I was working, I'll tell you exactly. I was working there about 2 months. And one of the guys I was working with came out to go to his car. And his entire car was on blocks, and all his tires and rims were stolen.
Oh my gosh.
And this is back in the day, you guys, when there was no security. You couldn't even get a security guard. Once you got inside the plant, you were safe, but you were on your own on your way to and from your car. And it wasn't fenced in either, Monica.
That's unfortunate.
But the bad thing I wanted to tell you is I didn't last there very long, simply because I could not take the stench of the soiled and soured milk and dairy products.
Yeah, it's like a cheese factory. It is
gross.
It is foul. Yeah.
Very gross. So, and back in the day, I was a kid and I did have a crappy car. They didn't mess with my car, but I ended up quitting in under 2 months because I just couldn't stand the scent, and I was really kind of frightened at night. I worked midnights.
Ew. And you had to walk and
to
raw dog it into the plant.
You raw dog it all the way. That's what you did. You ran as fast as you could.
No, I'm glad you quit.
Because you don't know what was lurking. Yeah, no kidding. You don't know what's lurking in the darkness.
That's true.
In these bad neighborhoods. So this next report I got is in the Olympic National Forest in Washington of 2018.
Nice.
The date on this is June 5th, 2018. And again, the location, Olympic National Forest, Washington. A team of Bigfoot researchers from the Pacific Cryptid Institute set up camp near the Bogachil River. Their mission, their mission was to capture thermal movement on a nocturnal movement. Okay. So the lead researcher of this team's name was Samira Qureshi. We knew this area had prior sightings. What we didn't expect were thermal signatures taller than a bear, traveling upright for miles. The team claimed to record a 7-foot tall figure pacing the forest edge at dusk before vanishing into thick brush. But the hair-raising moment came after a field tech named Grant. Something banged on our generator around 3 a.m. It sounded like a heavy fist. then a low guttural chatter. Cameras caught a figure lurking just beyond the night. Cameras caught a figure lurking just beyond the night vision lights. They recovered footage of two dark figures with long arms, partly obscured behind trees, but clearly larger and shaped unlike known animals. The audio picked up a distant low growl, then a repetitive clicking sound. Again, the forest ranger's statement on this, Officer Maya Rogers, U.S. Forest Service. We investigated for bears and cougars. Nothing matched. The prints were atypical, longer and broader. We're still cataloging these things. And again, these are shorter reports. It's not like the bizarre news, everybody. Just these reports I found. So that's that one. And again, it's a report. I mean, I don't buy into that one. I buy into it, but it's just a report.
I mean, they're both just reports. Like
they're reports. Yeah.
They're just basic reports.
Yeah, these are basic reports, everybody, that I'm going through before
this is like they're both very typical reports. I heard something weird.
Yeah, they are typical reports.
I saw something weird, and it was bipedal, but bigger than that's an interesting comparison. Yeah. Bigger than a bear on all fours, or bigger than a bear on its two legs when it's scratching its back on a tree, Yeah.
Yeah. This is not the bizarre news, everybody. These are reports, but I do have a bizarre story to share with you guys after the report. So bear with us. About 50 in the chat room. And there's XNX Radio with our collaborations. We talked about the one on Friday. We're doing these on Fridays. So definitely check out Coley, SNX Radio. Coley, drop your link if you would. I am moving on to the third report, and this is in the Siskiyou Wilderness of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fidesz is in the house. Oregon. Okay. Oregon or Oregon? Now, Oregon, that's what I thought. Us Michiganders say Oregon, but I was corrected several times.
It's not gone. It's not Oregon.
It's not Oregon.
No.
It's not Oregon.
Oregon.
Okay. Anyways, the date was now this report was October 14th of 2006, and again, the Siskiyou Wilderness, Southern Oregon. Two hunters, Mark Thompson and Rafa Delgado, were tracking elk when their dogs began barking frantically near Bear Creek. What followed left them speechless. And one of the guys says, dogs ran back like something huge scared them off. Then we heard it, a deep exhale right behind us.
Ooh.
They turned and saw a massive dark figure estimated at over 8 feet tall, standing between two trees. Rafa, it just stared, then let out a slow rumbling roar. Man, I felt it in my chest. Of course. Before either could react, the creature vanished into the dense brush. The hunters found enormous footprints leading uphill, each about 24 inches long and 12 inches wide. Again, these are human. I mean, the last one, 22 inches. This one, I mean, come on, 24
We're getting
long.
Progressively larger.
We're getting big. 24 inch track. 2 foot long track and a 1 foot long wide.
Okay, so something with a 24-inch length.
Yeah.
Consider, how tall would that be? Would that be like 10 feet?
10 feet, but the 1 foot in the, what do you call it, width, that's like a damn giant foot.
Right.
I know the giants roam still. I don't think that they roam. I don't know where they roam. I know that they're in northern Alaska. I don't know where else. That's the only thing. But anyways, they reported the incident to Siskiyou wildlife officers, who found broken branches at heights over 7 feet, far above deer or a bear's reach. Officer Leanne Kim, no bears in the area have shown aggression like this that's been described. The stride, length, and height are puzzling, along with the tracks.
Okay.
So again, that's the short report there. I
looked it up. If we took the human ratio for foot length and applied that to height, it would be 12 to 16 feet tall. I don't believe there are 12 to 16 foot tall anything.
I do not either. I do believe in giants. Do they exist today? I highly
I think
doubt
they
it.
did.
They did it one day.
I mean, apparently they do in Kandahar, but I mean, I've heard stories of them in Alaska. Those are probably fabricated, though. The Kandahar giant, I think everybody's heard of.
We've all heard that.
And not just the Kandahar giant, that story specifically, but there's other like chirps, like little blips of people, military coming back saying, yeah, there's crazy stuff in the mountains up there. Like they'll see one, but they didn't engage it, So are they, I believe in giants. I do.
Yeah.
I think that there's likely giants. They still exist. Yeah.
That's, I mean, a lot of people swear by it. I've done a couple shows on giants with people that say they walk the earth today, fine and dandy.
Right. And they're Nephilim, right? They're the
Nephilim, part of the fallen 200. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. If they are, they're in some super remote places. But then there are still some very remote places in the world. Underground, Kandahar, I would expect underground.
Yeah.
Alaska, there's a huge chunk of Alaska that most people don't go into.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah. I mean, hell, people that live in Alaska go missing. It's so vast and so treacherous in certain parts, right?
Right.
I do.
So the Kush is also, so Cowboy said crazy stuff in the Kush. There's crazy stories out of the Kush as well.
Yeah. So I'm not going to disregard a lot of it. Here's the thing. Like we talked about the Kandahar, you mentioned the Kandahar giant, and that was in the Middle East, correct?
Yeah.
That's so mountainous. I know that there maybe could be things that exist in the cave systems and in the mountains, right? Because that's where these things would have to live to be unseen.
Out there for sure.
What's your take on that really quickly, since we're on that topic, the Kandahar giant?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, seriously, I don't know what to think of it.
Okay. Yeah.
On one instance, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it could be. And then in another, it's so widely spread. I'm like, is it just like a story that got out of control?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We got our fourth report. I agree with you. I think maybe it got out of control. Again, I'm not going to say that there wasn't a giant. I'm not going to say that the military didn't find something, right?
Right.
Really briefly, I want to thank Fidesz, Paranormal Paul, and Diane for my butt cushion fund.
Thanks for being so concerned about Robbie's derriere.
Yes, thank you. If you're just joining the show, I started the show talking about how I slipped and fell and got back from the doctor, and I did crack my hip bone. I guess it's in the middle toward the top, and I was telling the doctor that I need to sit down because I tell him what I do. I sit. So he took care of that problem with some medications. They're starting to kick in a little bit. But with that being said, that's me. Thanks to everybody. We're going to move on to this next report, Footprints by Lake Crescent. And again, this is in the Olympic Peninsula of Washington in 2021.
Lake Crescent's beautiful, by the way, if you ever get a chance to get up there. Yeah.
Very nice. September 3rd of 2021. Lake Crescent National Recreation Area, Olympic Peninsula. Family campers Robert and Denise Harrow discovered deep footprints along the damp shoreline early one morning. Denise, we saw huge prints leading from the woods to the water, like someone walked out at dawn and then vanished. Each print measured 21 inches long, deeply set into moist, so that's a little bit smaller, deeply set into moist soil. They followed the trail for nearly 3/4 of a mile until the prints abruptly stopped near tall ferns. But what truly surprised investigators was the pattern. Local tracker Bill Emerson, he says here, the stride length and foot shape don't match any bear, a big cat, or known animal. They just stopped as though it just disappeared. Nearby campers later reported screams at night, not human, not bear, more like guttural shrieks followed by silence. Authorities checked the entire area. No signs of large animals were found on trail cams, only footage of a dark figure moving upright at dawn.
Hmm.
So that's that one. Um, thank you, Gary Reed.
Oh, thanks, Gary.
5 new pirates are
Arr.
join the many, join the few. Thanks so much, Gary. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you. 5 new pirates.
Yes.
So yes. I don't know.
I mean, the Olympic Peninsula, I would believe, there was Bigfoot activity because it is thick. Crescent Lake's kind of, if you look at the peninsula, it's kind of as you're going up the coast road, it's kind of as you're starting to turn to go to the northern tip. It's still pretty dense in there. I would believe that I believe big reports coming out of there. What I would really personally, on a personal note, what I would love to do is go into the interior of the Olympic Peninsula, like in the actual mountains, because they're kind of in the center of that little peninsula, because that is thick and dense, and probably not a whole lot of people go on in there because it's rugged. It is rugged.
Yeah, I can see that just from your description. And rugged, not the average human's not going anywhere rugged unless you are really a researcher and you are an explorer and you got the equipment and that's what you do. And I suppose if you were raised in that environment, you might be more adept. Good old BMR couldn't do that.
Monica thinks she can.
Monica thinks she well, very good.
Monica thinks she can. Now her body might tell her otherwise when she gets in there.
Yeah.
But Monica is under the impression that she could do it. And what I've got topo maps of the entire Olympic Peninsula. I map out an area that's not just a bunch of steep canyons, and either hike. I don't know that I could hike in there. Like, I don't know what it would cost to get helicoptered into a ridge top.
And I would do that. I'm not doing it today.
Well, yeah,
with the condition I'm in. The seat is finally getting comfortable. I'll just say that.
Good.
Hey, thanks to Gary Reed again.
Gary.
Man, that's awesome, brother. Thank you. 5 new pirates and another cushion fun, I guess. I don't know what I'll do with that. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate all you. Hit the like button, subscribe. We're going to move on to this last report before I got that creepy tale, I think, to tell everybody. This was, here we go. Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania in 2015. It says here the title is Telepathic Contact. Again, the location is in Pennsylvania, Allegheny, 2015. Allegheny National Forest. Solo camper and blogger Tara Whitlock awoke at midnight with a clear thought running through her mind. Though no one spoke aloud. Tara, quote, out of nowhere, I heard a voice in my head, not words, but feelings, urging calm, then warning me to leave.
Okay.
Moments after the sensation, Tara recorded on her phone a low growl and footsteps just outside her tent. She drew back the flap and saw 2 large shadowy figures, tall and standing upright, but they didn't run. Instead, Tara later described a deep, profound calm wash over her. Tara goes on, quote, their presence was intense, almost like intelligence, but not human. I still get chills. Forest rangers found no physical prints, but they did find broken branches and unusual fur-like material stuck to a fence post.
Fur-like?
Fur-like. I'm
like a costume fur-like, or
again, Monica, it's not I writing the report, but yes, I get where you're going with that. Fur-like could be anything. A costume, a fur coat. Some woman, traversing with her mink coat out. I don't know. Not that you would do that, I don't think.
Because that's what you want to do is hike through the peninsula with a fur. I mean,
Abs-
it's chilly there. It's chilly on
yeah.
the western.
Now they do
side,
have coats with fur. Now they do have coats with fur on them that are meant for that, though.
Sure.
Some. I mean, I
I
wouldn't.
don't know that I'd go out in a hunting territory wearing fur anything.
I wouldn't buy. No, hell no. I'm not doing that. Ranger Cole Donovan, the witness is credible. That's what the Ranger Cole Donovan says. The material needs lab testing. Okay, well, kind of. It's unlike any known mammal we've ever cataloged. And again, we kind of broke that down a little bit as we were
Mhm.
finishing it up. Again, I like the fact that it does mention they're going to send it to the lab.
It'll probably
Yeah,
come back lichen.
Come back lichen,
Because
right?
that lichen that grows out there, it feels like hair in your hands when you touch it. It's gross. Feels like really coarse, like horsehair that's wet. It's gross.
Oh, yeah, really? Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing it in my mind. Yeah.
It's just big, long strands of lichen, like a tree fungus, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, probably. I'm sure that one. I don't know about that one. I think that one. Hey, listen, we've all heard about the telepathy, this, that, and the other. I'm not buying really the fur really too much. I don't know.
Yeah, fur-like doesn't help me.
Fur-like is not they could have came up with a better word for that report.
Is it fur? Is it fur-like? Does it look like hair? Is it hair-like? Is it what makes it? I got follow-up questions. What makes it fur-like and not fur? Just the fact that you can identify it immediately. You're calling it fur-like rather than fur. It's a very scientific method there.
For the scientific method. Thanks to everybody for coming on in and joining us on our brunch time show. Like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to SNX Radio. Check Coley out. Great show. Fantastic show every day, 3 days a week. Collaborations between us. We got a cool one coming up Friday with our buddy Paranormal Paul and I think Natalie. Check it out. Subscribe to Monica, our Paranormal World.
Yeah.
Yes. Blondes and Booze and good old BMR. Thanks to all the new people. Hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. I'd mentioned Tex. I don't know what he's doing. He's coming out down the road with true crime, I think. So I'll wait. I'll wait on that for Texie. So I got this email, Monica. I read it. I'm gonna tell this story. I know that we've been looking into the fairy folk.
Yeah.
And I know that's one of your favorite topics, and I've grown to like that as well. So again, I opened this email about 2 days ago. I said I was going to break this down. I was going to rewrite this and just break it up for a bizarre news segment. But I said, you know what? The story seems interesting enough. So I decided just to share the story with everybody. And this guy writes into me. His name is Daniel. And Daniel says that he doesn't believe in this type of stuff at all. He says he's a HVAC guy. Works on furnaces. He works on air conditioning. He says, that's what I do. He says he's very good at it. But what he says is this: I can't fix what's behind his house. So as I'm reading on this, I said, okay, I'll continue on.
Mm-hmm.
So he says the first thing that he notices is some sort of knocking. But he says it's not at the door. It's from the trees. He goes on to say that there's always just 3 knocks. Always 3. Daniel goes on to tell me the first time it happened, he assumed it was a neighbor splitting wood. Okay, I can buy that. But it was rhythmic. It was very deliberate, he says. And then I think he writes in the email, knock, 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 something like that. And then after the 3 knock, 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 he says, again, just silence. He says that it only happens after sunset. And I guess his wife, Marissa, I think the name was, told him one evening that they're answering each other. Okay, whatever this is. Okay.
Okay.
So that bothers this dude. Because he had already thought the same thing, I guess he's saying, but he hadn't said it out loud or made mention to Marissa. And then he says one night, this Daniel guy says, he stepped out onto the back deck with a flashlight. The motion light kicked on, but there was nothing there. So maybe 30 years out or so, he described as movement that wasn't walking, something to that effect. And he says, it looked like something stepping sideways between the trees, like it didn't want to be seen, like head on or deliberately seen. So again, he says, now his kids start complaining next. And so I guess one of the kids' name was something like Evan or something like that. And he goes and tells his mom, the small people. So this kid now says, where's the small people?
Right.
And they said that these small people were whispering outside of his window. So Marissa, the mom, asked the little boy Evan, she asked him what it was. So he goes on to tell her, he says, Mom, they keep asking if Claire can come outside and play. Now, I guess Claire is the sister. Okay, of Evan.
Right.
Now, I remember in this email, this guy says, now, Rob, I know that kids imagine things, but the thing is this, I'm experiencing weirdness too. So we weren't blowing them off 100% because there's something he believes that collectively is happening. So I guess the young daughter, though, Claire, he tells me that his daughter, he notices, started leaving things at the edge of the yard.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I don't know. We'll talk about this in a moment. He says he would leave like buttons and like a piece of ribbon, sometime one of her little plastic teacups from one of her play sets. Little girl type toys, I guess, is how you describe it. And then the mom, Marissa, found all these objects one day lined in a different location, neatly outside of the tree line in one morning. All like perfectly stacked in a perfect row. And she goes, I know my kid is very intense, but this was too perfect. So she asks her daughter, Claire, why she put him there. And she says, oh, they had me move them, whoever they are, right? Because they don't like plastic. She still tells her mom something like they like shiny objects. Shiny objects, right? So,
right.
And then she says, the tall one told me this.
Oh.
The tall one.
Okay.
So the father, Daniel, goes on and says when the temperature says that he just freaks out, right? He says he felt all cold and wigged out or whatever the word is. He goes 2 weeks in. He says now this activity starts to pick up even stranger. He says that he mentions something about his family dog, a Labrador. I forget the name of the dog. He refused to go outside after dark. He would growl, toward the woods, this, that, and the other. Never would bark. Did I just hear a bark after I said that? Oh, well, I just heard a bark.
I think your meds are hallucinating you.
But anyway, then they hear this deep rumble. Hey, perhaps.
I didn't hear it. Maybe somebody in the chat heard it. I didn't hear it.
I didn't. I heard a growl. I don't know. But so anyway, it's a wonderful thing. But anyway, one morning, Daniel found Archer's collar. I guess that's right. The dog. I just remember Archer's. The name of the dog is Archer. He finds the dog Archer's collar hanging from a low branch about 4 feet off the ground or something like that. And I'm thinking, man, I do not want to do a unalive pet. So I continue on the story. He says, but the clasp on the collar was still closed.
Okay, I'm lost.
So the collar was hanging from a tree line, but he says the clasp was closed, locked.
And the dog is missing?
I'm not done with the story yet.
Okay.
I'm assuming up to this point.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
No, I'll answer your question. The dog was inside the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, I'm like, okay, not an unalive dog. Thank you.
Thank you. Because I was going to tell you to stop.
Yeah. No, hey, listen.
La, 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 la.
I saw. Yeah. I'm not going to say. I have another comment. I'm going to refrain my comments. It was something I. So anyway, but he says now, Rob, I think that something is maybe playing with us, testing us, whatever the case may be. And I don't know, whatever. Okay. Then he goes on to say, that the wife Marissa starts hearing flute like tones, and this started up like at night at 2 or 3 in the morning. She says it wasn't music, it was more like someone trying to remember a melody or something like that. I don't know, whatever she says. And then she says that she recorded it once on her phone, but when they played it back, there was nothing. They could just hear nothing but the wind, no music, no flute playing. But she says she swears she heard this sound, right?
Okay.
And then they come across footprints, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of things in this, what he was telling me. And I'm just going to finish it out. He says there were small bare footprints, very narrow, very small. They circle the house after it rained. He says, the thing that disturbed him perhaps the most, that he called the authorities in, and a local deputy who came into this says that the prints stopped at the foundation, and they didn't lead away. They stopped right at the foundation of the house. Another investigator says that the kids from town are probably just messing with you. Don't know how small. I mean, you know how they go all over with these things, right? I mean, with this guy's email, and it could be all these things. I mean, he's just writing me what he wrote to me, right?
Right.
But then again, and just finishing this up, he goes, late in last September, his wife, Claire, the little girl, was missing for 9 minutes or something like that. And Marissa had turned back into the yard world while doing her laundry, and Claire was within sight. Then she was just gone, out of her sight. And she said these people do live in the forest; they're surrounded by a forest. And she says all of a sudden, everything went very chillingly silent. You couldn't hear anything, no birds or nothing that they typically hear. We've all heard that before. And then he says, out of the forest, he heard that something screaming or yelling the daughter's name. He says he felt like the woods were talking to him, right? He went out looking for his daughter, and he says the trails looked unfamiliar to this guy. Then he starts hearing. As he's looking for his daughter, he hears layered giggling and laughter, like children playing. He finds his daughter Claire standing in a small clearing that he says, Rob, I'd never seen this clearing here before at all. It was totally foreign to this guy. And his daughter was calm and she was smiling. And then the daughter told his dad, Daddy, you're not supposed to shout. They mean us no harm. They're just here to play.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not planning on leaving anytime soon.
Oh, great.
That night, Claire got really sick. They had to take her to the hospital. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. To this day, she's fine. But he says, Rob, after the day I took her to the hospital, frantically, because they thought something was seriously ill, is when all of a sudden, all these peculiar events stopped. So I remember he asked me, Rob, what do you think this is? You have any clue on this? I'm like, man, I sent the email back to this guy. I said, I don't know. I'm gonna share it today on the show. I said, I don't know. And the first thing that came into my mind, Monica, was, I don't know. reminded me of maybe the fairy and fae folk. That's why I
Sounds a lot
figured.
like fae, yeah.
So that's why I knew you'd be on today. So I decided maybe to share that story that I got from this guy, and I can't make heads or tails of it. It's quite a bit of a lot going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was over dramatized at all or embellished at all, but I remember a lot of things that are in this. I remember you hitting on several times. So what do you
Yeah.
think about this? Do you think this guy's full of shit, or do you think that, hey, you know what?
I mean, it's all very fae-ish, you know,
Okay.
hearing the music, the things, you know, outside the boy's window asking if his sister can come out to play. She's clearly gifting these things. So she's engaging with them, which I don't encourage anybody to do. So she needs to stop. They need to set a boundary, you know. I don't even know what they could do to get their daughter to stop interacting with them because she thinks they're friends, you know, and they're just playing until she disappears for good, you know, into the
Yeah.
fairy tale.
So I will say this. I think there are probably the fairy or the fae folk around their property, though. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah, but they can go out there. I mean, and you're going to feel so stupid doing it because, like, anytime I've had to confront something and tell it to get out of my house or get out of my space or whatever, I feel like an idiot standing there talking to nothing.
right.
But, you know, you go out on the edge of the property and be like, you're not allowed to leave my daughter alone. I don't want you playing with her. You're not allowed into this space. Get iron shavings. They'll stay away. They'll get angry probably for a little while, that they'll stay away. I mean, other than moving, I don't know what to tell these people to do. You know, they're easy. I mean, fae are easily offended. You know, the daughter's been interacting with them, so they're going to get used to that. You know, just stopping that could potentially offend them. Just, man, that's a tough situation.
The thing that creeped me out was the little prince that went to the base of the house and stopped
And
there.
never left. Yeah. You know, that's
Like
well, when they say little, like how little, like
little, like little. I mean,
like
from
baby
what I
footprints?
remember, like 4 inches. Yeah, like little,
tiny.
tiny, like
Brownies,
feet.
brownies. Sounds like brownies. It could be sprites, but brownies, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what I would do. I would just go around the property, like the edge, like in the forest line, and be like, "You're not. Well, we don't want you here. Like, I'm sorry, my daughter was bargaining. I mean, it's good. No matter what you do, you're gonna piss them off.
Yeah,
You know, no matter what you do, you're gonna make them angry. She's already gifting them, so there's already an exchange going on there. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing for her. I don't know if they're giving her shiny rocks. I don't know, like, what is happening where she has gifted them something for their favor, maybe. I don't know, but I don't see any, like, or I didn't hear, at least in the story, any transaction going on. So they might be able to just cease the trade and tell them no more. Because from what it sounds like, the Fae didn't give anything in return. But by gifting Fae, they think that they deserve it because I mean, even if they didn't do anything, well, I must have done something. They're gifting me.
So they feel they
feel they're owed it then after a while. And that's why you don't say thank you to strangers. Like when somebody says, gives you something, or if somebody says, okay, I'm going to go now, and you just automatically say thanks, even though nothing happened, it's just something we say now. You know, if you say thank you to a Fae, even though they didn't do anything, they think they did something. And because you said thank you, they think they did something for you, and now you owe them.
Oh, kind of like the Jinn.
Yeah.
That's
well, Jinn are a little different. Jinn are Jinn, they're not really fae. I wouldn't categorize them as fae.
Okay.
They're I guess more akin to like angels and demons and things like that. But they're
Oh,
not angels and demons. It's hard to like they're akin to that. And Jinn, you'll get all different kinds. You'll get mean Jinn, really kind ones that are like meh, like indifferent. And you can get those with fae too. You hear the quartz, the Seelie quartz and the unseelie quartz. And I think some are Seelie and unseelie, but I think a lot of them are just there, like humans. Like you get good humans, kind humans, you get jerk humans. I mean,
yeah.
there's all flavors.
Definitely all flavors. And I was thinking too, what I found strange. Well, I don't know if it's strange. I think this is good for the little girl because after after the father found her in the forest and just told him what she had.
Yeah, and they're not going anywhere. That's what stuck with
They're
me.
not going anywhere, right? And then she got sick that night, sick enough where they had to take her to the hospital, right?
Yeah, but that could be coincidence. I mean, how was
That
she
could be
sick?
coincidence. But the
Yeah.
thing that then he ends the email from what I read, he says that after she got that they were very worried about her sickness, but she recovered, pulled through whatever it was. But then he says that everything has stopped since then.
Mm-hmm.
And this was September was in the last incident.
Mm-hmm.
So we got October, November, December, January. So we got some months behind us now. So, and all these other occurrences prior to September were happening boom, 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 boom. And then the daughter gets sick, talks to these fae, and then all of a sudden she's okay. Do you think that maybe that's what they put back? Do you think they did that because that was a way of, I don't know. I scratch that
Building
idea.
power.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's a bad idea I was just coming up with. I was just thinking
I mean,
out
it's
loud.
possible. I think everybody is thinking it. I mean, it's certainly possible, but um, I don't know. They're in a tough situation, and no matter what my recommendation is, it's going to anger some stuff. If they're cool with the status quo, then
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't think I'd be cool with it. I mean, I don't
I
care
mean,
if
I wouldn't be, but I'd be actively like doing my best to halt it, to stop progression and let them know, like, no, leave my daughter alone, leave my child alone,
Mhm.
leave my child alone.
Yeah. I'll see. Well, maybe okay. Very odd, very strange. And I'm glad that nothing happened to the daughter because
Oh
when I
yeah.
heard a few of these things, I was thinking, "Whoa, this is going to go wrong fast." But when I read it, I knew that wasn't going to
I
happen.
mean, my first inclination is get out, just move.
Yeah.
But not everybody's in a position where you can just pull up stakes and move. It's not like can't just we're gonna move tomorrow. It takes a lot of
You're not
planning
gonna.
and money.
It
Yeah.
takes up. I mean, you got a family there, a family of four. They've been there apparently. I mean, I don't know how young this kid was. I remember 4 to 8, 7 to 8, something like that. I think older, like that age. So yeah, you just want to uproot your family. But then again, I tell you what, that was pretty terrifying. I'd be more scared for the kids
Yeah. I'm
than
not
anything
scared for the
else.
adult. I'm scared for the animals. And I'm scared for
Yeah,
the
the
kids.
dog, man, taking the collar off. They pull the collar. Somehow that's
I
a
mean, do you
weird.
think it's possible the daughter took the collar off though and gave it to him?
Oh,
Because if
man.
she's older, like 7 or 8, she can take the collar
She could have
off
she'd have unclasped it, taken it off, clasped it,
and then hang it in a
and then
tree.
hung it on a tree. Because that's the only way that it's going to hang on a tree is if you reclasp it, right?
Right.
You're not
I
going
would
to pull
think,
it off.
unless it's like flipped over a branch or something.
Yeah.
But either way, like I'm thinking the kid's like 3 or 4. If the kid's like 7 or 8, that's pretty old. Especially for fairy interactions. So, Yeah, I mean, it's possible the kid took the collar off the dog and put it out there.
I think that's very possible. I think it's possible. But I thought there was an interesting tale, and I must say that I can feel some of these meds kicking in out a little bit. So, I don't know if I can go any longer.
Well, we can wrap it up. It's been over an hour.
Yeah, it's been over an hour. Yes, everybody, I got a hair like crack in my hip.
And you need to go lay face down on a couch.
And I got pain medication. It's starting to kick in. It's making me a little loopy, I hate to admit. Well, you know how it goes. You take pain meds. I haven't taken them many, many years.
I enjoy the pain meds when I get them.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they take pain away, yes, but then you're also like,
Yeah, I'm like, okay. I mean, I could probably talk here for 5 hours and I would make no sense.
Stop with your head then.
Yeah. Thanks to Bigfoot Fidesz, BMR Butt Pillow Fund. Yes, I can sit now because the medication is helping. Paranormal Paul will be doing a collab with me and Coley on SNX Radio Friday. Coley, drop the links. Drop your link. Check us out. I think Natalie's joining us. Paranormal Paul, thanks for the super cat. Diane Boss, thank you for the super cat. Gary Reed, thanks for the 5 new pirates. You rock and roll. He rocks and rolls again. CA, you must be from Canada.
Love thy neighbor.
Yes.
Love the message.
Gary. Thanks, Gary, man. That's pretty cool. Appreciate you. Moon at Noon. Thank you so much, Moon at Noon. Thanks to all you guys. Hit the like button. Thanks to everybody, whether you participated in chat or not. As I always like to say, the audience is what helps the show grow, whether you're replaying, watching live and not in chat. It doesn't matter. Y'all matter to me. And Monica, I'm done saying when you're going to be on. I know, just subscribe to Monica.
Subscribe and hit the bell, and when I eventually post my random stuff, you'll get notified.
Hit that like bell, right? Turn on the alert bell.
Yeah, turn on the bell.
Turn on the bell.
Subscribe and click the bell.
Yeah, with that being said, yes, Chuck Fidesz's little extra I'm going to do here pulls up and shows you all that. Thanks, everybody, for coming on in. BMR will be back. I'll be Friday collabing with Coley. Like I said, Friday. Then Saturday, we will be back with Bizarre News. With that being said, subscribe to all of us. Thanks and love y'all. And I'm going to end this. And I'll see y'all soon. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob, and beyond. Join the many. Join the few. Tuesday night PM Eastern, the squad is complete. Thursday at 1 PM Eastern, we bring the heat. Saturday 11 PM Eastern, the fire is on, the hunt is on, the roar is strong. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, BMR, we're raising hell. Check the screen for the weekly lineup, join the fire, never give up. The schedule's on your screen, see you there. Ooh, yeah. BMR and beyond. Keep the legend alive.